Fire Force is a shonen anime written by Atsushi Okubo and adapted by David Productions. It is generally viewed as being the spiritual successor to the highly acclaimed Soul Eater. This is primarily due to the fact that the two series share the same writer, as well as having some visual similarities. Fire Force is an action shonen with a unique plot concept involving spontaneous combustion of humans in a dystopian future, and pyrokinetics who can control flames with their body. Even with such an interesting plot concept, it doesn't seem to have the same level of notoriety as its counterparts like Demon Slayer or My Hero Academia. Is Fire Force just not as good as these, or is it an underrated commodity? Hello everyone, welcome to Aniprop. Let's look into it. So, I think there are three major reasons why Fire Force is underrated, and why people don't have it in the same regard as they do for its more mainstream counterparts. The first reason is actually something that was completely beyond the control of the studio. I'm talking about the 2019 arson attack on the Kyoto Animation Studio. In July 2019, the Studio One building of Kyoto Animation was attacked by an arsonist. This attack killed 36 people and injured 33 other workers. The attack resulted in a release delay for Fire Force Season 1, which was entering its third episode. Because of sensitivity around the fire attack, several aspects of the anime dialogue and animation, especially the animation of the flames, was modified. One of the biggest complaints about Fire Force is the poor pacing in the first 4 episodes, as well as the awkward pauses and strange cuts in the dialogue for the series. The re-edits could have contributed to both the dialogue issues and the pacing problems. The anime also had horrific levels of censorship, leaving parts of the original TV release unwatchable in my opinion. The anime also added many still shots with not much going on, like these frames with the mascots, to fill time. This is likely a necessity due to the scenes that were cut from the original production. This all culminates in a slow and uncomfortable start, which can be hard to recover from when there is so much good competition in the shonen market. Another major issue that seemed to turn people away from the anime is the awkward fan service in the early episodes. This is mostly driven by one character, second-class fire soldier Tamaki Katatsu. She has her lucky lecture lore. This lecture lore acts as an excuse for her to be exposed in compromising positions rather often. I can see why viewers could possibly be put off by this. It is my view that Tamaki Katatsu and her lucky lecture lore acts as a deconstruction for ecchi. It is intentionally awkward, and though she is exposed often, the story doesn't actually attempt to sexualize her, if that makes sense. Yes, this is not some clever deconstruction like Rei in Neon Genesis Evangelion, but it's still clever in its own way, because it kinda achieves a similar result. In Season 2, the Lucky Lecture lore becomes tied to Tamaki's backstory, and is actually a driving force behind her character development. It even becomes a plot device of sorts. So, while I understand people being put off by Tamaki and the awkward fan service, I think it serves a greater goal. And some of us like fan service. Thank you. Next. The third big reason why people are put off by Fire Force is the anime direction. Yuki Yase is the director, and he is an ex-Shaft employee. Shaft is known for producing very strange dialogue-driven anime, most notably Monogatari franchise and Nisekoi, among some others. The Shaft influence can be felt in Fire Force in the dialogue scenes. Yuki's production used long still shots. This is a common shaft technique which works great for their usual productions, but I don't think it translates well to shonen. It has some awkward cuts, which is great for building dramatic tension in a normal shaft anime, but not so much in the shonen genre. Shaft is also known for its irregular dialogue structure with uncomfortable pauses, which alongside the re-edit cited earlier have put many people off from watching this anime. Additionally, Fire Force has some strange animation decisions. Chief among them is the blank faces. Several dialogue scenes choose to show the characters from afar and remove facial detail. This is often seen with background characters in anime, but rarely with the main cast. It's unclear to me whether this was a stylistic decision or whether Studio David did this to save resources. I'm leaning towards stylistic choice because the studio has not been seen to deploy this technique in any of their other productions. All criticism aside, I think Fire Force is still a solid anime and worth the watch for any fan of shonen. The viewing experience is not smooth because of the problems cited earlier, but it has likable characters and amazing action sequences dripping in Sakuga. The anime also does well in developing characters on all sides of the story's conflict, so it can become very engrossing. It does have its problems, so I won't say that it's underrated, but rather it has a fan base about the size one would expect. That said, I do think you're missing out if you don't give it a watch. Speaking of giving a watch, thanks for watching me today. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.